Okay, participants, a very good afternoon to all of you. We must have to start our session on time. So with this time concern, I request all the participants to join immediately, the rest of the one. So once again, good afternoon to all of you, all the participant, organizer team, and the today's resource persons. Dr. P. Malliga is available with us. In this AICT training, AICT sponsored, Atal Academy sponsored 1 week faculty development program on effective OB implementation using learning management system. Madam, I officially welcome you as a research person. I really mean a lot for me. It's really pleasure for me to introduce you, to welcome you on this platform. Madam, so I officially welcome you in this program, and yes, my screen is visible to you all of. Hope so. Argade sir, my screen is visible to all?
No, sir. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So today we have with us a very eminent personality, that is Dr. P. Malliga, currently working as Associated Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and she is heading towards the Center of Education, Media and Technology, NITTR, Chennai. So welcome, I officially welcome you, madam, in this program. I really appreciate to accept our invitation. So thank you very much for the same also. And now towards the introduction, Madam Qualification, she has taken the qualification at University of Madras. She has completed BE in Computer Science and Engineering. Then in BITS Pilani, she has completed MS in Software Systems. After that, Anna University, she has completed the MS by Research. In the same University of Madras, she has completed his Doctor of Philosophy or a doctorate. So, and specifically, her area of interest is in data mining, cloud computing, technology-enabled teaching and learning, then instructional design, e-learning, and OER, as well as she has having the interest in immersive technology. Dr. P. Malliga has an huge experience, approximately or more than that of the 30 years of teaching, training and research experiences, his teaching, training and research experiences. She has a major contribution as a resource person for more than 350 short-term courses in computer science related areas, as well as she has coordinated 250 short-term programs in computer science areas, she has a resource person for long-term program like PG, DTCA, BTech, MTech, and overseas teachers. Then she has, in his credit, coordinated 6 international programs for overseas teacher on educational media production for e-learning and instructional design for e-learning. She has also trained 140 Bangladesh teachers and administrators in ICT and web design. Again, with that of the major contribution, she has 26 papers were presented and published in the area of computer science and education in national and international conferences and in international journals. Then she has a team member in development of 10 CVTs by Computer Center NITTR. She has produced several educational videos program in computer science and engineering, guided students and teachers project, and acted as a doctoral committee member and examiner for Anna University and University of Madras. She has offered 2 Swayam MOOCs courses, e-content development, OER for empowering teachers, and coordinated AICT and NITTR Module 1. I am the participant of this particular program, madam. I am your student for this particular program, and I feel really great that I have completed this program under your guidance and supervision and mentoring specifically, and teaching and training. So, so I feel very great for that. Co-coordinator. She has a co-coordinator for Swayam MOOC for teacher training courses, NITTR Chennai, sponsored by MHRD, Government of India. She has so many of contribution in everywhere, specifically in the training area. She is not only the teacher, she is not only the teacher, she is a trainer and she is a researcher. Those who are the researcher will become a good trainer and best teacher. So that is because of what I observed when I was a student of madam in the Swayam MOOCs platform in the AICT NITTT Module 1. I saw some of the special characteristic under madam that that is a way, the combination of the common qualities. What I say is that complete personality of effective research-oriented trainer. What a way of presentation, content delivery, all the communication skill. She has a stable mind, patience, and absolute judgmental determination and devotion. What she has belonging, as far as my opinion is concerned, and as far as my observation is concerned, I have noted that much of things under madam, and I really feel today great that I have introduced such a great personality today we have with us, and such an eminent personality. So, and you can see over here, there is one block or number of, we can say that the slides coming for that. You can observe the number of qualities. I thought so. For that purpose, I remain blank over this particular table in orange color, and maybe this will go rises an addition in these all qualities. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to introduce madam. And now it's time to announce a chairperson for this particular session. That is Dr. Sadhana Sai. Dr. Sadhana Sai, madam, are you there? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You must have to chair the particular session. I request you to chair that particular session for madam. And Madam Dr. Sadhna Sai is Associate Professor at GCOP, Aurangabad. Madam, I welcome you and I request you to chair the session. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation. Now, I hand over the particular stage to today's resource persons, Dr. P. Malliga, to continue the session. Thank you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all. A very good afternoon, and a big thanks to Dr. Prashant, Dr. Vivek, and Dr. Sadhana, madam. So he was giving a very vivid presentation about me. I do not know whether I deserve it. Thank you very much for your kind words and generous words. So with this, I will start my presentation. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you are audible.
Okay, let me share my screen also so that I can open my presentation. Yeah, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So I want interaction. Let me, hopefully this is visible. One second. Okay, let me begin my presentation. The topic given to me is Bloom's taxonomy and 21st century learning skills for learners. Okay, so that's a very interesting topic, need of the hour, because we are all in the teaching profession. We should know what we have to do for our students so that they become employable in this 21st century, right? So what we are going to discuss today is the 21st century learning skills, the Bloom's educational objectives or the taxonomies, okay, and the learner characteristic, then the SMER model, which you can adopt in your teaching learning process, and then what are the interactive and innovative teaching methods so that you can inculcate this 21st century learning skills in your curriculum as well as in your teaching learning process. So before that, I would like to start my discussion. I would like to have a small activity, which I can also share it in your thing, right? Let me share either you can use, I want you to do that, right? I can also share it in your link. Okay, copy link. You are able to see, right? So you could have had your lunch, right? Okay. So we'll have some warm up.
Right.
So I have shared the link in the URL chat. I request all of you to join and give your inputs, valuable inputs. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. List any 320, any three. There are many. List any 21st century skills that need to be inculcated in teaching learning process, or it should be in our curriculum, okay, where we can do that. So which you feel, which is very important, which is the need of the hour, or whatever, okay? What are the skills you want to inculcate in our teaching learning process, in our curriculum? Yes, somebody says communication and confidence. Great, great. I would like all of you to participate. Yeah, critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, right? How to do proper Google search or use of internet for benefit. Good. Okay. Whiteboard, use modern pedagogical techniques. Pluckers, animated presentation. Good, good, good. Very nice. I can see many inputs. Demonstration, effective delivery of lecture, active learning. All right. These are all methodologies, but right, 21st century skills. Understand student perspective, good hand. See what you have to inculcate, the 21st century skills, what is required for the students, okay, for the students to become employable or to be, to survey in this world, right? Outcome-based learning skills, okay, that is a different skill, huh? I have to understand what it is. Okay, creativity, innovation, great. Problem solving skills, yes, anything, no? We have to, see, first we have to have this one, problem solving skill, great, great, great. Like critical thinking, moral values, very nice. Lifelong learner, computer knowledge, definitely patience, right? Knowledge of teaching, software, problem solving, professional skills, what does it mean? Yeah, effective use of ICT, imagination and innovation. Good. So 40 people are have given your thing. I would like to have all your part. There are around 120 people being practical, think oriented, modify. Great. Yeah, see, active learning, attention, imagination. Yes. So now from the world of information, we are going to enter into the world of imagination, right? Fine. Ethics, then skills using online methods to understand the concept, communication skill, life skill, creative. Only 45 people have given your answers. Ethics, okay. Yeah, at least half, 50% I wanted, right? Online tools, okay. Fine, fine, fine. Right. Communication, problem solving, presentation, moral values, good. It's a good one. Good one, good one. Listening skills, okay. Imagination, reasoning, analysis, very great. You're able to log into it, right? Right? Yeah, somebody is also giving it in the chat box. Value each other opinion, attention, okay. I wait till 60. Interpersonal skills, great. Comprehensive skill, learn through all domains, okay. Lifelong learning, you can say, that is one of the skill, right? In the outcome-based education, the graduate attribute says lifelong learning. Yeah, that is also a skill. Fine. "51 people have given your answers. 52 people, right? What is the next one? Modern tools. Communication, knowledge of software, pedagogical techniques. Okay. Right. Implementation of pedagogy. So for the teachers, you're saying, right? Self-discipline, empathize, and being compassionate. Very nice. Very good. Communication, knowledge of software, pedagogical techniques. I'm waiting for 3 more. Yes. Flip. What is this? Flipped classroom, think, pair, share, muddy point. These are all methodologies, teaching methodology, or I can say instructional methods. Okay, question is, yeah, somebody has given very nicely. Analytical thinking, innovation, active learning, originality, see here, initiative, leadership, resilience, to break boredom, lively session. Okay, right. So yes, my target of 50% is crossed. Good. So very happy, and I thank all the people who have given your valuable inputs. Great. I can also share it later. Fine. Going back to my presentation. Okay, this activity we have done. See, I'm going to give you a framework. One second. The framework, which says the 21st century skills, that is the P21 framework, okay? There are many things, so this will consolidate everything. It is called the P21 framework, where you are going to learn different 21st century skills, okay, which a learner should imbibe, or it should be provided in their teaching learning process, in their learning environment. So all these things, what are these? First of all, let us say, if you see the inner circle, you can see that the core, the key subjects, the 3R, the 3R stands for read, write, and arithmetic. That is a very, very fundamental thing. Everyone have to know about it, how to read, how to write, and then how to do mathematics, arithmetics, okay? And then you have the core subjects like English or language, reading, world languages, art, mathematics, economics, science, geography, history. Okay, there is something here. Okay, government and civics. Apart from that, you have the 21st century themes, global awareness, financial, economic, and business, civic literacy, health literacy, and environment literacy. If you look into any curriculum, let us say, or it may be any core subjects, it will be there along with these, what do you say, the 21st century themes. This alone is not sufficient. Apart from that, you should have the 4 C's. We call it as 4 C's, okay? So if you look into this, the 4 C's are critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Many people have told communication skill, collaboration. That is also very important. Many of you told critical thinking, creativity, and communication. You left out collaboration. See, if you look into the UNESCO's 4 pillars of learning, they say learning, that is the 21st century learning thing, right? Learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and learning to be. See, why do we learn all these things? To make our life happy, simple, right? Or to be very comfortable also, right? So we learn and we apply the knowledge and skill, maybe science and technology, to make our life easier, right? To live it very comfortably. But in that case, like you should know, there are a lot of problems around us. So how to solve those problems using our knowledge? So we have to think, critically think, and problem solving skill is one of the very important learning skill, right? So we should know. So just learning, and then not learning, actually rote memorization, and then you put it in the examination paper, you forget it, no use. Okay, so you should know whatever problem, your local problem, or it may be a global problem, how to solve it in your, at your place, at your institute, at your village, at your district. Then it comes to your state, then the country, like whatever it may be. Okay, so the critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and innovation, collaboration, that is very important. See, we cannot do anything single, right? How to collaborate with others, how to have a networking with others, how to have a teamwork. That is very, very important, collaboration. And then you have to effectively communicate, okay? The written, non-verbal, verbal, all those things, right? So these are the four learning, four C's. Four C's, okay? The next one is the information. Many of you have told that you should know how to use, how to search engine, Google search it and find appropriate thing. So that is also one of the skill required, the information literacy, the media literacy, information and communication literacy. See, there are so much of media available, like channels, many things, okay? New media, we call the internet media, right? So there are so much of information. You should know how to access it. Not only access it, you should know how to assess it. All the things available will not be authentic or will not be good for us. So which is good, which is bad, and which is very useful. That type of thing also is very, very, skill is also very required. Okay, the information literacy, the media literacy, and the ICT literacy. Okay, so that comes into this package. And the next one is the life and career skill. Okay, many people have told, like initiative, leadership. So these are the other 21st century, say flexibility and adaptability. See, just imagine, nobody thought that we will undergo such type of situation, no pandemic situation, where we are all locked into our home, we are working from home, and now slowly we are getting into the new normal. And then all the teachers have adapted themselves to the new learning environment, the new norm, no? Like we are, so very, very, maybe 10% of our teaching faculty or teaching fraternity was doing online teaching before this pandemic. But if you see now the scenario, 100%, almost everyone from school to any level, professional level, everybody has adapted. They have learned the new things, and they are into that. So that I'm giving an example. So if you want to survey, okay, then you can see many things. So like the flexibility and adaptability, initiative. So that is also very important. Who will take the lead? Okay, the initiative and self-direction. Okay, the self-discipline or self-direction, that is very important. Social cultural skill. See, our students will be employable at anywhere, right? So cross-cultural skills, they should know how to behave and how to get along with them. So that is the social and cross-cultural skill without affecting other sentiment and other things. So that is also very important. Learning a new language, many things. It comes under the social and cross-cultural skill. Then productivity and accountability. So that is one of the very, very important. So when so you are accountable for that, and you have to produce. Just you should not while the time. So much of skills are very, very. See, when anyone wants to make our students employable, they will all check this. Apart from the knowledge and skill what they have acquired in their in their curriculum, these are the skills they check for the aptitude and analytical and all those things. Okay, so whether they are accountable, then leadership and responsibility. So these are the life and career skills. If you possess these skills wonderfully, you'll be able to get through this 21st century things, right? So for all these things, you need a lot of, right, our assess. First of all, the learning environment. So the learning environment should give scope for inculcating all the skills in our teaching learning process. There should be some professional development. Our curriculum and instruction should help us. Okay, so if you look into the outcome-based education, right, and then the graduate attributes, it almost takes care of all these skills, isn't it? Right, like the learning skills, creativity, then problem solving, critical thinking, innovation, and then initiative, leadership, organizing, and then all the ICT literacy, everything is available in this thing, right? So whether we are taking care of it, the curriculum and the instruction. And we should also see, of course, we don't, the outcome-based assessment, no, we don't have a proper way to assess whether they have all these competencies, okay? So that is still lagging. There should be some assessment reforms to know whether all these skills have been acquired. So you can also have competency-based curriculum, so that we will be able to measure these 21st century skills. Okay, so let me have another activity now, right? The same link, you can use it, okay? The same link, you can use it. So this is just the same link, you use it, okay? So I request all of you to join here just to check your knowledge. Okay, it's a small activity where you can, the question will be appearing, the choice will be given. You can choose the correct answer. You should also choose the correct one, as well as you should be fast also. Okay, great. 40 people have joined. Yes, what happened? 2 people have left. 38. Good, good, good. The same link you can use. You can use the same link. Yeah. See, for every question, you will have 30 seconds only to answer. Okay. After that, okay, I'm just waiting for yeah, any number you can join. I'm just waiting for the 50%. Good, 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 good. Yes. So it should be two-way, like you have to be very actively participating. You're all young people at heart, at your mind, isn't it? Okay, participate, great. So let me start it. Okay, right, very nice. So what is the question? What are the three domains of learning? What are the three domains of learning? The options are given. You have 30 seconds only to answer it. Great going. Yeah. 56. Yes. Good. So 61 people, 62 people have answered. Great. Great. Good. See, out of 62 people, 43 people have given the correct answer. Cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. Good. The next question. Very simple. Straightforward. Yeah, Deepa Somnath is very fast. Correct and very fast. There were around 70 people, but she was the fastest who gave the right answer. Okay, sorry, around 40 people, no? Yeah. Good, great. The next question. Yes. Shall we move? Yeah. 71 people are there. The higher order thinking skills refers to. Higher order thinking skills refers to. The choice are given. So which is the higher order thinking skills? You have to choose the appropriate answer. Yeah, 64 people have given your answers. Out of 64, 36, again, around 55% have given the right answer. 36 people have given the right answer. Analysis, evaluate, create is the higher order thinking skills. The others, around 30 people, have given the wrong answers. Okay, great. We'll see who was given out of 36, who was the fastest one. Oh, now it is Amol. Great. So 36 people have given the right answer. And out of that, Amol was the fast. The last question. Okay, so what are the two dimensions of revised Bloom's taxonomy? Okay, what are the two dimensions of the revised Bloom's taxonomy? The revised Bloom's taxonomy. So here, very less time I have. I think I didn't make it as 30. It is only 15 seconds. Okay, within 15 seconds, 60. Oh, great. 73 people have given right answer. Very fast people. Yeah. Okay. Here, this is the catch. Yeah. In the revised Bloom's taxonomy, you have two dimensions called the knowledge and cognitive process. Only 12 people have given the right answer. Okay. So yeah, so that is in the revised Bloom's taxonomy. You have some changes. That is the two dimension. One is the knowledge dimension. Another one is the cognitive process dimension. Great to know, right? Okay. So who has done that? Out of 12, who was the fast? Oh, Pallavi. Pallavi, Mohini. Yeah, finally she made it. Huh? Right. Pallavi, okay, flower shower. Thank you, and congratulations. Thank you all for participating. Okay, so our next thing will be on Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, we have just seen the 21st century skills, right? So let me start my presentation. Hope you could have enjoyed. Pallavi, yeah, good. Let me start my presentation. This we have completed. Yes. So we saw the 21st century skills, under that the core and 21st century themes. Then we saw the learning and innovation skills, the 4 C's you can remember: creative thinking, creativity and innovation, critical thinking and problem solving, collaboration and communication. And then we had the ICT literacy, media literacy, information literacy, and ICT literacy. Then we have had the life skills. The life skills are, you can have the flexibility, adaptability, initiative, leadership. All those things comes under the, the life skills. See, these things, the 21st century support system should be there. See, all these has to be ensured that the student masters these 21st century skills. So our assessment, our standards, our curriculum, our instruction, the professional development, and the learning environment must be applied to produce a support system so that we produce the 21st century outcomes of our students, today's student, okay? So we have to understand among the core subjects as well as the 21st century interdisciplinary themes. Okay, so many things are happening: emerging technology, disruptive technology. So then emphasis deep understanding rather than the shallow knowledge. That is very important. Engage students with the real world data, tools and experts that will encounter in your college or on the job or in the life. Then students learn best when actively engaged in solving meaningful problems. See, when I say problem solving, it means not only the arithmetic problems which comes in your things. Okay, they should be able to solve the real world problem. So you have to give the scope for them to think about it, to give their to come out with solutions. Okay, so then they learn their best when they are actively involved in solving meaningful problems. Okay, so allows for multiple measures of measuring. So all these things are very, very necessary, and particularly in the outcome-based education, if you look into it, okay, based upon the graduate, you will have the outcome-based curriculum. Logo, one second. Hello, class la irukanga, class la. இருக்கு நான் கிளாஸ்ல இருக்கேன். G1 சாரி கேக்குறாங்க. Then how to make the students achieve the outcome, that is the outcome based teaching learning, and then how to measure what the student has achieved, that is outcome based assessment. Okay, so in this we have to basically understand the Bloom's taxonomy, because if you look into the outcome-based education, that is the accreditation or outcome-based education, it is based upon this Bloom's taxonomy. For that, we have to understand that learning takes place in 3 domains. My first question was, what was the learning domains? One is the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So what is that? So when you say cognitive domain, it is based on the knowledge, that is the brain, you can say, or the mind, or the cognitive thinking skills. Okay, so then the next comes the skills, the psychomotor domain, right, which you do practical skills. Okay, that is the practical things. That is the psychomotor, which you do it with your hands and legs and whatever it is. Okay, the kinesthetic part of it. And the next is the affective domain. So in the affective domain, you'll have like the values, the interest, the feelings, the discipline, all that comes under the affective domain. We have to understand that the teaching and learning takes place in all 3 domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Okay. So if you just see anything, if you take, even if you take a skill part, it is not just the skill alone. You should have some, maybe predominantly it will be skill, and you'll have the cognitive and affective domain. And if you look at the outcomes, if you take a course, if you look at the outcomes, these outcomes will be mostly on all the three domains, okay? So maybe in the theory subject, it will be predominantly on the cognitive skill, and on the practicals, it will be on the psychomotor thing. And this affective domain, it is not directly given, but you can take it out, okay? That is why the 21st century things, all those things, skills will be there, right? I can put it in another way, the graduate attributes of the outcome-based education that takes care. If you look into the graduate attributes, see, the first 4 or 5 will be the core things. The next of the things, it will be the other domain, like how you have to serve the society, the lifelong learning skills, working in teams, then having the professional ethics, all those things comes, okay? So we have to see to that the teaching and learning takes place in all three domains. So just only with the knowledge and skill is not sufficient, which will not have the moral values or interest or go beyond a certain limit, unless otherwise we have the affection to or passion to do something great, okay? So for these things, we are going to learn about the three domains of learning and taxonomy. That is for each domain. So for cognitive, there's a taxonomy. Then for an affective, you have a taxonomy. And then for the psychomotor. If you take the cognitive domain, that is a revised Bloom's taxonomy. Then for the affective domain, you have the Cartwell taxonomy. And then for the psychomotor domain, I'm going to just tell about the Dawe's taxonomy. Okay, so here, if you see this is a revised Bloom's taxonomy, where you have, it is in 1950, excuse me, in 1956, the Benjamin Bloom devised this taxonomy, okay, for cognitive learning, for cognitive domain of learning. It is in hierarchical in structure from lower to higher, okay. And it has 6 levels. So a teacher should understand whatever it may be, whether he is teaching any subject, they should know about this taxonomy, because you have to plan or you have to design your activities, your assessment, and also you have to align with the course outcomes, isn't it? For that, it is very, very required. See, when you take this outcome-based education, it is student-centered. Okay, it is a student-centered. And what it is at the end, what the students are going to demonstrate or able to perform. So the focus should be on the outcomes, the performance of their outcomes. So in that case, how do you measure it, right? For this will be a tool to say at what level they are able to perform or what level they are able to demonstrate whatever they have learned. Okay. So if you look into this taxonomy, so the lowest level is a remember. Then you have the understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Okay, what is it? You might be knowing, just a fast recall. If you have any doubts in this, you can ask me. Okay. So then the lowermost is a remembered level. That is, remembering consists of recognizing and recalling relevant information from long-term memory. The next is the understanding. That is any concept or principle or procedure, whatever it is, you should be able to interpret, exemplify, give example or illustrate example, classify, summarize, inferring, comparing, and explaining, right? And then the next is applying, where you can execute or implement. It refers to a learned procedure in a familiar or a new situation. And the next is the analyzing. That is the first 3, remembering, understanding, applying, is referred to the lower order thinking skills or lower order ability. But that is very, very essential. Unless otherwise we are thorough in that, or if you have not understood any subject, you cannot go beyond the thing. Okay. So we should not stop with that. So if you look into our teaching learning process, our assessment, mostly it will be in our, what is it, these three things only. Like, so if you take anything, so it will be, we'll be trying to make our student understand and try to apply the knowledge and skill in a new situation. If it is a new situation, it's good. Otherwise, it's a very, if it is just a familiar situation, it is just like a practice, okay? So we have to go, so if you want to increase the quality of our education, then we have to go for the higher order thinking skills. So this is the analysis, okay, analyzing, and then evaluating whether, see, something is happening, why it is happening, all those things, that is called analyzing. And then evaluating is checking or making judgments, okay, whether this is good or whether it is proper, whether it has been aligned. See, if you have a proposal, whether this is a very good proposal, all those things you can make judgment, okay? Whether this methodology is good to adopt for this. It may be in any of your thing. See, it should, that is what, okay? So in your field, you can just say that is checking, and critic is the evaluating, and the last one is the creating. Creating is the highest, I can say, is a creating, creativity and innovation, we call it, or creating, where you can design, propose, generate, all those things comes under the create. So putting elements together to form a coherent or functional whole, reorganize elements in a new pattern or structure. So this is the revised Bloom's taxonomy of cognitive domain. So remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Okay. So I said, in the question, in the quiz, we asked, what are the 2 dimensions of revised Bloom's taxonomy? See, how many people are familiar with this revised Bloom's taxonomy? All right. So most of you might be knowing the Bloom's taxonomy, but the revised Bloom's taxonomy is very helpful, where the ambiguity is reduced, right? Clarity is given for the teachers, students, particularly for the teachers, to create their objectives, activities, assessment, so that your curriculum is aligned, and you can also check out what are the missed the curricular gaps and the missed educational opportunities. So always it is helpful for the teacher where and how to improve. Okay, so that is very much useful. So if you look into the revised Bloom's taxonomy, I said there are 2 dimensions. That is, one is the knowledge dimension, another one is the what is it? I just used the pen. Yeah, a knowledge dimension. Another one is the cognitive process. When you say knowledge dimension, there are 4 things. Okay, 4-1. That is factual knowledge, then conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, and then the metacognitive knowledge. So then this we have already done, the cognitive process. Remember, understand, apply, analysis, and evaluate. What is this new knowledge? What is this new dimension? Knowledge dimension, that is factual. See, if you take any learning outcomes, right? So it is a statement. What is that statement says? What the students will be able to do after, at the end of the learning event. Let us say at the end of the lesson, or end of the session, or end of the course, or end of the program. So that is what the students will be able to do. So your outcomes will start, the statement will start with an action verb, which is measurable and which is observable. Okay. So these action verbs, after that followed by an object that is called the noun part of it, which shows what it is. Okay, explain, okay, what, or describe, or list, or apply, or it may be design, or process, write, many things. There are so much of verbs available that according to the taxonomy, you can use those verbs: differentiate, distinguish, classify, illustrate, explain, describe. So these are action verbs. So that will show the cognitive process. The noun part will tell you about the knowledge part. That is the whether it is a factual knowledge or conceptual knowledge or procedural knowledge or metacognitive knowledge. So when you look into the factual, it is the knowledge of terminology. See, if you take your branch of study, there will be some basics things, okay? So if you are doing chemistry or chemical engineering, or you're doing a pharmacy course, or let us say you're a mechanical engineer, civil engineer, whatever it is, in your thing, or let us say in a particular course, there will be some of the terminology that is a factual knowledge, specific details and elements that you should know. And then the conceptual knowledge is the knowledge of classification and category, knowledge of principles and generalization, knowledge of theories, models, and structures. So this comes under the conceptual knowledge. Then you have the procedural knowledge, subject-specific skills and algorithm, subject-specific techniques and method. There will be some methods, techniques, so that they have to know. So what they are learning, what they are able to explain, what they are going to analyze, whether it is factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, or procedural knowledge, or whether it is a metacognitive knowledge. When you talk about the metacognitive knowledge, it is a strategic knowledge, that is the knowledge about the cognitive side. See, every learner has their own way of understanding the content. Okay, when you tell them write it in your own words or put it, so that is also a metacognitive knowledge, and they know how to have the strategy of learning, or the knowledge about knowledge, that is a self-knowledge. All this comes under the metacognitive knowledge. Okay. So this is another dimension. So only we have, so if you have any learning outcome, you have the verb and the noun part. So verb will say, so verb will give you the intended cognitive process, that is the 6th level, and the noun will give you the 4 things, that is the factual. Then it is not hierarchy. It can be anything, like it is just not in any order. You can say, but simple to complex, or you can say concrete to abstract, something like that you can say, but it is not has hierarchy like this one. Okay. So factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, and metacognitive knowledge. Right. So this is about the Bloom's taxonomy. And here, if you look into it, okay, so this mapping is very important, because that why a teacher should know all these things is in order to align your curriculum, okay, according to your course outcomes. Okay, so according to your course outcomes, you have to align your thing. So you, whatever you say, the learning objectives, the assessment, okay, then the teaching what is activities, the learning materials, everything has to be aligned. So for that purpose only we are learning. So there are 3, I said 3 domains of learning. Okay, there are 3 domains of learning. So the domain, that is the next domain, is the Cartwell taxonomy of affective domain. So here again it is a hierarchical in structure. So you know what is. Hello, I'm in a class. I can call you later. Okay, so this is the next is the Cartwell taxonomy. I have to put my thing off, otherwise it will be a disturbance. So in this affective domain, right? So where it shows the interests, discipline, values, feelings, all those comes under the affective domain. For that, Cartwell has devised a taxonomy which is of hierarchical nature from lower to higher. So what is that? So you have 5 levels here: receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. Okay. So the Cartwell taxonomy, if you see, what is that receiving? So you might see now we are in this pandemic situation. So you could have the governments, the media, everybody says how to follow the social distancing. Okay, everybody is receiving it. Okay, it refers to the learner sensitive to the existence of stimuli, the awareness, willing to receive it. Right. The next one is responding. how many refers to the learner's active attentions to stimuli and his or her motivation to learn. So even if you in a class, you might be giving some homework, right? So that how many people respond to it? That is the next one, responding. Or you might be arranging a guest faculty from the industry or from an eminent person. So everybody will be listening. How many people respond to it? That is next level. Okay, responding. The next is valuing. Valuing is really accepting and committing to it. Okay, so see, you might be arranging some drives, blood group, campus blood drive, all those things. So how it is being done? Okay, so how many people? That is the next level. People really value it, right? I usually used to tell one example. We Indians know, like we have very poor value system, that particularly when it comes outside our house, right? When you're the road traffic or the cleanliness, right? So when you travel, you can see that when you're driving, there are policemen as well as the traffic signals. But how many of us, just imagine, how many of us, even during the night time where the traffic is less, where there is no policeman, how many of you value the traffic signal? Okay, wait for the signal to go green and then you continue. No, what we do, most of us, very few, most of us, what we do, oh, no policeman. Okay, you just take, okay, here nobody's coming, why I have to wait for so long? Just like that you go off, right? So that is what. So when you really value, you have to accept. So I'm just giving an example. It can be anything, right? So valuing. So receiving, responding, valuing, and then the next one is the organization and characterization. So it refers to the learner's internalization of values and beliefs. So not only you do it, you can also advocate or you organize thing so that you give preference to that value, right? That is called the organization. Then characterization, that is the ultimate one, okay? The most top one, which refers to the highest level of internalization. It relates to your behavior. It gives a generalized set of values. Okay, that is the characterization or philosophy about life. Right? That is the Cartwall taxonomy of affective domain. Are you getting it right? So if you look into this Cartwall taxonomy of affective domain, you can have 5 levels: receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. It is from lower order to higher order. Okay, and then we have the Dawe's taxonomy for psychomotor domain. I can say that there are 2 more taxonomy for psychomotor domain, which is called the Simpson and the Anita Arrow taxonomy. But predominantly, we use this Rajendra H. Dawe's taxonomy in the outcome-based education. Maybe for physical education and other things, no, you might they can refer to this Simpson taxonomy, but this is preferred in our thing. So what is it in psychomotor domain, right? That is our skill part. So you have laboratories. It can be any laboratories, chemistry laboratory or computer programming laboratory or any machine laboratory. So if you take any laboratory, so you give instruction to the students, no? Or the instructor will demonstrate. So what happens is the students really sees the demonstrations, observes, and then they duplicate it or they do it, right? That is called the imitation, imitating the person, right? So that is the lowest level. Right. Then the next level is the manipulation. So copying action of another, observe and replicate. Manipulation is the next one. Reproduce activity from instruction or memory. Let us say the professor is demonstrating. Usually our chemistry professor, no? So he, when I was in the school, he will never allow me to enter into the, actually not he, she. chemistry teacher will never allow us to enter into the chemistry lab when we were in the +1, that is the initial stage. And then she will always demonstrate. We have to observe, and every time she gets a very good award, the clean best chemistry laboratory of the district. That award will be given to our school, right? So we were wondering what this teacher is not allowing us to go inside and do any experiment, and we are and teacher is getting a best award, so nobody will do any disturbance. But after, when we were doing our +2, then we understood, right, why it was done like that. So she will be meticulously demonstrating step by step, and then the second year we were allowed to go to the chemistry lab and do it. So when we did it, we just followed her, we just remembered her way of doing it, and we executed it. So the same way, most of us, not everyone, most of us, we had a very good table, clean table and all those things, right? So that is also there. So just an example I told you, right? Here, manipulation is what means the teacher gives the instruction, you mentally process it, then you go to the laboratory and do it. Or they can give you a manual. The manual will be given. The students has to process that information. They have to carry out the task from the written or verbal instruction. That is called manipulation, right? It is next higher to the copying thing. Next is a precision. Precision is execute skill reliably, independent of help. So anyone can take that is. When you are able to perform a task or an activity with expertise to a high quality without assistant or without instruction, then we call it as a precision level, okay, where they are able to demonstrate an activity to other learner, okay. So you can see some of the students will be helping the other students to do it, right? That is the precision. Articulation is where you can combine two or more skills. You can sequence it. You can perform consistently. That is articulation. Okay. The next, the highest thing is, yes, any doubts you have, Nitin sir? Okay. Then you have the naturalization. Naturalization is the automated, unconscious mastery of the activity and related skills of strategic level. So they can do it with ease, without any mental or physical exertion. When the same thing is given to us, we will be out of thing. So that is the highest level. So when they are performing any thing, so you can actually assess at what level it is, whether it is imitation or precision or imitation, manipulation, precision, or articulation or naturalization. So if you want to bring any skill, or if you want to inculcate these things, at what level you want it. So you should understand, as a teacher, you should understand at what level I have to bring it. And maybe there will be minimum standard, at least at the precision level. They should be able to perform any exercises without the help of the instructor. Okay, the other thing is non-standard objectives. Articulation and naturalization is beyond that. Okay, so that will be an excellent or outstanding work. Okay, so this is all. So minimum is at least what they should be able to, the precision level, they should be able to perform. So this is what. So whether it is cognitive or psychomotor or affective, you have taxonomy for each one. And this we call it as Bloom's educational objective taxonomy. Okay, which talks about the cognitive, the psychomotor, and the affective domain, right? So if you have any questions here, you can ask me, or shall I continue? Any questions? Okay. So why we learn all these things? Why? Because the outcome-based education, For every course, there is a course outcome. If you look into the curriculum, you can see the course outcome. So a teacher has to write the lesson outcome or learning objectives. And for each thing, you have to plan, no? You have to design the delivery method. That is, we call it as choosing the 3 M's. 3 M stands for method, media, and material. And then you have to design the assessment. You have to design the activities and the learning materials, okay, whatever it is, right? So all this has to be aligned so that the outcomes is met, okay? So now, see, we have seen, we have learned so far the Bloom's taxonomy, right? And then we for cognitive thing, we saw that revised Bloom's taxonomy. Then for affective and for psychomotor, Cartwell and Dawes taxonomy respectively. Now, you should also, in this digital era and during this pandemic, a teacher should also learn the digital taxonomy, how you can map or how you can inculcate the 21st century. Okay, I will just play a small video which you can see it, which will summarize what I have done and also how you can use it effectively.
Most educators are familiar with Bloom's taxonomy, a model that classifies different levels
You are able to hear?
thinking, learning, and understanding. As a teacher,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
must use this taxonomy to guide the development of curriculum, assessments, and instructional strategies. But how is this model effective in the age of digital technology, and how might it influence your instructional design? Let's take a step back. Bloom's taxonomy was created in the 1950s by educational psychologist Benjamin Bloom and his colleagues. The 3 lower levels, knowledge, comprehension, and application, are more basic levels of cognition, also called lower order thinking skills. This would include concrete thinking, memorization, and understanding. The 3 upper levels, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation, referred to as higher order thinking skills, include abstract, critical, metacognitive, and creative thinking. Some have likened the model to a mountain or a stairway, where teachers set learning objectives and design learning experiences to guide students to higher levels of thinking. The taxonomy has become an important model for structuring students' learning processes. In the 1990s, Bloom's taxonomy was updated by a group led by David Crowthwell, one of the original authors, and Lauren Anderson, a former student of Bloom's. To make the model relevant to 21st century learning, one of their main changes was updating the nouns associated with each level to action-oriented verbs. This differentiation positions thinking as an action-based process rather than one of passive acquisition. For example, knowledge was replaced with remember, analysis was changed to analyze, and so on. They also reordered the last 2 steps. Evaluation, which was previously at the top, was moved down, and creating, formerly synthesis, was moved to the top. With this framing, educators have several different verbs, questions, and instructional strategies associated with each level. In recent years, there have been many iterations and metaphors of Bloom's taxonomy, including an orange, where the 6 levels are distributed more equally, moving cows, representing an interworking system in which creation is dependent upon all of the other aspects, or a flipped pyramid illustrating an emphasis on higher order thinking skills. But in thinking about how technology affects this model, consider it as Bloom's digital taxonomy. This updated version aims to expand upon the skills associated with each level as technology becomes a more ingrained and essential part of learning. For instance, some propose that new action verbs can be applied within each level. Let's take a look at creating, in which learners are designing, inventing, and constructing a piece of work that shows what they meant. One could add new digital verbs to creating, like log, remix, and program. These verbs refer to possible learning activities that incorporate digital technologies in which students are creating. Adding digital verbs to the taxonomy also promotes 21st century skills like communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. Others have taken the 6 levels of the taxonomy and align them with technology tools that help foster each level. For example, as a teacher, you can think about how to integrate apps and websites that help students remember content, like flashcards or drill and practice tools. There are tools that help students analyze and make sense of content, like reading charts, graphs, or mind maps. Or you can think about what tools support student creation, like producing, podcasting, blogging, coding, editing, and more. With these examples, the focus should not necessarily be on the tools themselves, but on how the tools can be vehicles in transforming student thinking at different levels. So, as you weave technology into your teaching, ask yourself, how can the tools we use support different cognitive levels? Which tools help you address lower order thinking skills? And which can help challenge students' higher order thinking skills? Consider how Bloom's digital taxonomy can help you identify ways to design technology-rich learning experiences for your students.
So credit goes to common sense, like good. So we have seen a very beautifully done video, animated video, right? So we have seen the 6 levels of cognitive domain, that the Bloom's taxonomy and the Bloom's digital taxonomy, where we are using the technological tools to inculcate the higher order thinking skills as well as the 21st century skills like creativity, problem solving, communication, and collaboration. So when, see, as a teacher, no, I can ask you, like, how many of your students enjoy doing assignments? Okay, so it is like a punishment for them, no? So whenever we say assignment, oh, they'll say, right? And then how many of them enjoy doing assignment? No, they just do it for the mark space, because you are going to give them, you are going to give some internal assessment. So they are compelled to do the assignment, otherwise they don't enjoy doing the assignment, isn't it? So in that case, how are you going to do that, right? So let us say, for example, how you are going to redefine your assignment so that it is well taken, where they really participate and they enjoy doing the assignment. So that is very important, that I will be discussing with you, how to redefine the task, how to redefine your assignments so that you can inculcate the 21st century things, as well as you can make it interesting also. Okay, so this is one thing, we call it as a TPAC framework, where a teacher should have the content knowledge, the pedagogical knowledge, and the technological knowledge. So this is very, very essential, right? So what to teach, how to teach, and how to use the technology in your teaching learning process, right? So that is the course, that is the aim of this course, no? So you are going to implement the OBE curriculum with LMS, okay, the learning management system. Fine. So here it comes this MER model, we call it as SAMR model. What does it mean? So I was just asking a question. Do your students enjoy doing assignment? Okay, I didn't get any answer in the chat. Can I take it yes or no? Okay, Deepa says no. Okay, right. Anybody says yes? Do your students enjoy doing assignments? Most of us, we can see that, no? It is like a, if assignment is given, it is just copying from the book, or let us say copying from our friends, all those things. But definitely people will do it because you have to make, because we have to get that internal marks to pass our subject. That is one way of making the students to learn also. But how you can make it very, how you can make the students to learn very effectively, that is very, yes. If they are practically based, yes, Madhu is saying very good, right? If it is practically based, yeah. they do enjoy, say they actively participate and engage in doing or learning when it is done on the practical base. So how can you give this? The same assignment, if you tell them, okay, with the help of technology, definitely they'll enjoy doing it. For example, I'll tell you, right? So this is a model which is called SMER model, where you are going to use the technology in your teaching learning process. Instead of telling them to write it in the paper, let us say you are telling them to type and send it as a document file or a PDF file. Okay, that is a mere substitution. Even no, see, there are some cases when some of our colleagues were discussing, we are thinking, okay, they'll be having all the opportunity to write and submit. But the true sense, no, like many of the students are learning or using only the smartphone to attend the class during the pandemic. So they're finding it very difficult to even to type and send their assignment. They say, madam, we will write it and then we'll scan it and submit as an assignment. So that is one way where there is no, because of things like availability of the devices or the internet or so many things. But if you look at, let us say, after this new norm where they have the provision or the things to do it, instead you can tell them to submit, use the device, okay, type and submit. The present generation people, where the accessibility is there, they prefer to type and send it. It's just a mere substitution. Instead of writing, they are typing it. And then, what is then A stands for? A stands for augmentation. That is, when you are writing it, so you have to literally use your writing skill. That is, they have to write, and if you make some mistake, you tear it or you strike it out, and there may be a lot of spelling mistakes, there will be a lot of grammatical mistakes. But when you are using some functions like, let us say, a Word or some Open Office or whatever it is, so it has some functional improvement. So it will, the spell check is there, grammar check is there, you can cut, paste, copy, many things are there. So augmentation, okay, so that is augmenting. It is not mere substitution, augmentation. So it is just an enhancement. Instead of telling them to write, you are telling them to send it digitally. That is enhanced. But will it be helpful or will it make them enjoy? No. Okay, they are using the technology, that's it. But how can you make a transformation? How you can refine? See, instead of telling them, you can say, you can make it as a group activity where you can inculcate collaboration. Okay, so then you can also tell, that is one. Otherwise, you can also say, okay, you instead of writing it, you make a presentation. It can be through slides or it can be through videos. Okay, so you can make a presentation. So you modify the task, you redesign the task. So then you can also tell them, nowadays, no, like assessment, not only the teacher has to assess, the community, the whole. So you can tell their students to also give them some likes or marks. So that is also there. The collaboration, they can work on the collaborative tools. Okay, so that is modification. And see, there a lot of things will be there. So if you give us a group project, okay, to bring out something great, that is, let us say, a slide presentation or a video presentation, okay, they can use whatever resources they have at their hand, right? So now with the smartphone, you can do many things. Okay, taking a picture, making a video, small. It may not be a very professional video, but whatever. Or even with the slides also, you can make it as you can save it as a video and you can do it. So here, a lot of things. Somebody will be very good at scripting. Somebody will be very good at taking pictures. Somebody will be very good at writing the storyboard, or somebody will be a very good researcher, getting all the information. So everything, when it comes as a group, they will contribute in different ways, right? And they can make something new, and it will be a very good rich resources, okay, so which can be used by us for the next for others to learn also. So that is called the redefinition. Technology allows for creation of new tasks which was not previously inconceivable. Okay, so modification and redefinition goes for the transformation stage. Okay, you modify the task and you redefine it, right, using it. So this is called the SMER model. So whenever we are using it, like according, not only we have to use the traditional things, we have to do whatever is available. Okay, with that resources, we have to redefine our task, which will make the student really participate in that, which will encourage the active learning, right? So this is called the SMER model. And let us have another activity, small activity, the same link. I can share it. So what is the next activity? Yeah, it is in Pallavi. So much time it was doing flower shower to Pallavi. Great. Next is list any two learner characteristic of Generation Z. That is the present day learners. I want your active participation as you have participated earlier. Okay, use the same link. List any two learner characteristic of Generation Z. That is the people who are born after 2000. They are called as the Generation Z learners. Okay, what are their learning characteristics? How do they learn? What are their preferences? Oh, capsicum, apple, eagle. What is it? My goodness. Okay, you're giving them some names, nicknames. Huh? Fast, analyze. Okay, these are the learner characteristics of auditory learners, visual learners. Okay. So how do your present day, your students, you will be having the present day learners. Okay, you know about them very well. Okay, how do they learn? What are their learner characteristics of the Gen Z? Is there any meaning for this one? I do not know what is capsicum, apple, and banana. Okay, auditory, techno-savvy, right? In short time waste to go. What is it? Auditory, then yeah, analyze, eager, fast, action, that's it, right? Pragmatic minded, technology oriented. Yeah, I want a beautiful cloud to be formed by you all. Yes, 30 people have given your answers. Good, going. Okay, is it your tea time or your... Okay, right. Good, good, good. Very, I wanted... Okay, very few things have come out. Yeah, they are active learners, good, global minded, learning, they enjoy, they prefer learning by doing. Very nicely spelled out. Okay, we go. They are quick learners, practical learners, auditory learners, visual learners. Okay. How are you classifying them? Like visual learners, many people have said. Techno-savvy. See, if you see the cloud, out of 38 people, many people could have said about the they are technocrat or techno-savvy, right? So that is at the middle and it is very bold. Okay, good. Okay, you keep giving. I will also go here. Right, let me present. Yeah, 40 people have given your answers. Good. Great, 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 good. Okay, fast learners and all those things. Yeah, it will not be closed. You can keep, you can do that. Let me summarize it. Okay, I was asking the learner characteristics of the Generation Z learners. They are multimodal learners. Many people have said they are visual learners, auditory learners. But if you look into the present generation, you cannot classify them as visual learners or auditory learners. In our generation, let us say, what is our generation? You can ask me. See, there are many generations, like let us say, now people born between 1940s and 1960s, they are called the baby boomers. The 1960s to 1980s are called the digital migrants, or they are being called as Generation X. Okay, they don't want to know, they didn't know what to name, they have made it as Generation X. Then people born after 1980s to 99, they are Generation Y, or they are called as millennial learners or digital natives. Now the people born after 2000 are called the Generation Z learners. So most of the students whom you are addressing will be the Generation Z learners. If you look into it, in my generation, okay, so I'm a digital migrant. So in my things, most of them were like predominantly visual learner or auditor. You can classify, okay, because it was like that. They were able to classify them, and then according to their requirements, even if there was no, they were not able to address the different types of learners in the class. But now, if you have a small questionnaire and then find out what is, it is available in the net also, what questionnaire. Okay, you can see the what questionnaire. You can type, you can find out what type of learner. I'm just putting it on the chat. Okay, if you just type what questionnaire in the Google search engine, it will give you a questionnaire where you can, just a simple questionnaire where you have, it will be having around 20 to 25 questions where you have to give your answers. Depending upon the answers, it will tell you what type of learner you are. If you administer this questionnaire to your present generation students, you can find that most of them will be multimodal learners. They learn from variety of sources. Okay, see, everybody is using YouTube for cooking, for knowing something new. So if you want to know, just in time you want to learn something, you just open the YouTube and see how it works, any equipment or any things, how I'm able to, so that you use YouTube. Sometimes you listen to the podcasts, okay, the audio clips, you use books, references, articles, journals, like many modes are available. And it is accessible also, not only available, it is accessible also. So that is called the multimodal learners. Okay, so the next one is, they are very good at discovering information, but with that information, what you have to do? You have to construct the knowledge and skill. They are not good at it. Here the teacher has a role. Okay, with that information, how to construct the knowledge and skill, that is where we have to facilitate them, right? Then they have a shorter attention span. They cannot sit for 2 hours and listen. You can find it very difficult, no? Now, that too in the pandemic thing, you're sitting for 2 hours and listening to it. So what I did is, in order to break the boredom or in order to break the monotonous, I gave some activity. You're not just only listening. If you listen, what will happen? Only two channels is working. You will be seeing the monitor and you will be listening to the lecture. After some time, what will happen? Slowly, there you will go to a sleep stage. If there is some activity, you will type, you will think, all those things. So that even your students prefers that only. They prefer active learning strategy. Why? They cannot, the concentration time, the attention span time is around 10 to 12 minutes, or even they say 8 to 12 minutes, okay? So they have very shorter attention span, that too in the adult or late adolescent and learner. So only if you're preparing any material, okay, or any video or anything, it should not be too long or too long. Lectures are not recommended, okay. So you have to break them with lot of activities in between. So you have to bring lot of activities so that they participate, they learn. You have to give them flexible learning environment. See, why everyone should use LMS, learning management system. Okay, you are going to supplement or support your teaching along with the resources and activities, right? At any time, anywhere, they can open it, they can learn. Very flexible, very relaxed learning environment. I'm just giving an example, right? Very relaxed, right? And that too during this pandemic, very, very relaxed. What to do? Then they prefer informal and simulating environment. They prefer active learning. They prefer interaction and collaboration. That is, see, many people are in depression. Many people are they do not know what to do during this time, particularly the school and college students, right? So this is because when they go to school and college, more than the learning, there will be a lot of social interaction and collaboration, right? So they work together, they'll play together and all those things. So that is, they prefer that. How you can do it, right? And then experience, they learn by practice, they learn by experience, they learn with hands-on. That is the experiential learners, okay? They are comfortable with technology, as you said, yes, they are technology savvy. And they are multitasking too. They are extremely relational, right? What do you say? Like they need a lot of motivation, appreciation from the teacher that will really motivate them to learn more. Motivated learner learn more, isn't it? And the peer learning. Peer learning is learning from the friends. So these are the general learner characteristic of Generation Z learners. So why do I should know about all these things as a teacher? As a teacher, you should know because there is a paradigm shift from the teacher-centered learning to the learner-centered learning or student-centered learning. So gone all those days where you have the chalk and talk method, memorization of facts, written tests. Of course, in assessment, we have to do a lot of reforms, but still we follow that, written test and examination, manual evaluation. Now it is all computerized, but still subjective, objective tests are there. So this is a traditional teaching method. When there is a shift, paradigm shift from the teacher-centric to the from the teacher-centric to the learner-centric. The role of the teacher is also changing. The teacher is no more the sage on the stage. Okay, they are guide by the side. Even I can say they are no more guide by the side. They are co-constructor of learning. They are also learning. Our students are also learning, right? So it is. Yeah. Then it is becoming the co-constructor of learning, that is sage on the stage, not even guide by the side, become co-constructor of learning. Yes, somebody has raised your hand, Shivanand. Okay, if there is anything, you can give it in the chat, put it in the chat, or you can unmute and ask me. Is it for me? Right. And then now comes the crux of this one. Okay, that is, yes. Shivan. Yes, sir, you can ask me. You have some queries? No? Okay, otherwise we will have some time for that. If you're not able to do that now, you can, we'll have some time for it. Okay, so now I'm going to come to the end where we have the correct things. So we have to use the very innovative teaching method, that is the flipped learning, blended learning, collaborative sessions, gamification, usage of LMS, case studies, role playing, video lectures, social media for discussion. So all this, whatever, so the new innovative interactive teaching method has to be used. Predominantly we use only the lecture, demonstration, tutorial method, but we have to use this. So when you want to use all these things, technology plays a very vital role. For flipped learning, for blended learning, you need some place to share your resources and activities, that is an LMS, right? So the implication to the teachers are that no long lectures are not recommended. Teaching with technology will have greater impact. Mix up the method. Use the video clips, podcast, concept chart, maths, clickers, presentation, any other tools. Explore micro learning. Use learning management system. Okay, right. So this is, see, ultimately in the outcome-based education, the students should achieve the outcomes. Okay, so for that we have to facilitate. There is no one such thing. Okay, you have to one method or thing. There are a number of methods where you can design your courses, deliver it. Ultimately, you have to see to that they achieve the goals. Okay, that is the outcomes. You can then. So it is very, very important that you have to use all these things in your teaching learning process. Right. So these are the implications to the teachers. Right. Now I will stop my presentation. Okay, so I would like to ask, I will be happy to take up the questions now. So before that, let me summarize it. What we have done is, so if you look into it, we had, so we have seen what is 21st century learning skills with an exam, with a framework of P21 framework. We saw different things like all these critical problem solving, creativity and innovation, collaboration and communication, right? And then we saw the other, all the life skills, okay, all these things. And then we were discussing about the Bloom's taxonomy, right? And then all these things we were discussing. What are the 3 domains of learning for each domain? What are the, what is it? Taxonomy. We were discussing the taxonomy, right? You have seen the revised Bloom's taxonomy, then Cartwell taxonomy, and Dawes taxonomy for psychomotor. And then we saw how these taxonomy, there is a learning, intended learning outcomes will help the teacher to align according to the course outcomes, okay, to prepare or to deliver the content, prepare the assignment, prepare the activities, right? Choose the appropriate learning material, which will be aligned, which will meet needing. Okay, what is, ma'am, what is the long form of SMART? Okay, so what is long form of SMART? That is substitution, augmentation, modification, redefinition. Okay, where is it? So this is what? SAMR. Substitution, augmentation, modification and redefinition. That is the long form. So the first letter, we call it as a SMART model. Okay, it can be at any level. Either it can be mere substitution or augmentation. But if you want to transform or redefine, it has to be redefined, right? Modified the same assignment, you have giving a new task for it, right? So that is called the SMART model. So using these things, no, like in your teaching learning process, if you are using these tools, techniques, all these things, you can definitely inculcate this 21st century learning skills. So they will be able to communicate, they'll be able to collaborate, they'll be able to think, actively participate, and all those things. So this is what. So we saw what is SMERD model, the digital, then Bloom's digital taxonomy. Then we saw the present, that is the learner characteristics. Okay, learner characteristics we saw. Then the present, that is particularly the Generation Z learners, and what is the role of the teacher, and what is the implications to the teacher. That is more important. Okay, so that is the one. And so you are going to learn. I understand that you will be having hands-on practice, and I have seen Dr. Prashant's demonstration and other things very well done. He's a master in Moodle, so you will be learning those things. Okay, so you have to effectively use the learning management system in your teaching learning process. It is a mandatory, right? In the outcome-based education, it has become a mandatory that you have to, every teacher has to use a learning management system. What may be, like there are hundreds of learning management systems. The popular ones are Moodle, Canvas, Google Classroom. Hopefully, I think you can, the course outcomes can be mapped also. So this is what I would like to say. Now it is time for you to ask me questions. Okay. Yes, thanks for your feedback. And no questions? Any questions? Yeah.
Anybody having any question? You can ask to ma'am. This is a question answer session. If any question, you can raise your hand, or either you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay.
Okay, no questions because it's not practical sessions, no? Right. So
actually, you have well presented. That's why they understood well. We can take it positively. I thought so. Whatever the feedback coming from that side.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sujit, sir, please.
Madam, one short question I had asked.
Yes.
According to the revised Bloom's taxonomy, you have explained very well. We understood all the things. One question regarding is that for hello.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, continue. I'm listening to you.
For internal question paper for sessional examinations or other parameters, is there any guideline is given that fourth and fifth level Bloom's taxonomy should not be there, or up to the remembering, understanding, and applying whatever for the creating and evaluation question should not be asked into the internal examinations or
No, there is, to my knowledge, there is no such thing. So it all depends upon the TOS, the table of specification. So ultimately, you have, as a teacher, you will be knowing that you will be handling a course, there will be a course outcome, isn't it, sir? In your curriculum, there will be a course outcome. You have to look into the course outcome and all your assessment. Okay, I'm just talking about assessment. Your assessment should align with the course outcomes. See, if they are asking to evaluate or design or propose, and if you are not asking that such type of question in the class or internal assessment or even in end exam, then how can you, definitely our students, will not prepare themselves for that level. So the quality will not be there. So it is based upon the outcomes. So every subject will be having different outcomes, right? So you as a course expert, as a subject matter expert, you will be knowing what is a course outcome and it is what level it has been expected from the student. So whether any your classes, that is the teaching learning process, or your assessment or learning material should align with your course outcome. That is the very important. So here nobody will say, okay, don't give. See, if it is beyond that, it's a very good thing. Okay, so minimum expected standard will be given, right? It may be in the applied level. But if you feel as a teacher, you have, see here only the teacher has, we have our things, no? So you can go beyond the expectations also. So that is there, that freedom is there, the academic autonomy is there. You can go beyond that, but the minimum things we have to satisfy. It should not be below that.
Yes, thank you very much, madam. But according to the NBA has given the for diploma course, there are only 9 program outcomes, but there are only few program outcomes where dependent. So other program outcomes we are attaining through the different rubrics,
Yes.
according to the Bloom's taxonomy. So how can correlate that things
Yes.
according to the Bloom's taxonomy?
So yeah, like let us say, for example, it may be lifelong learning or sustainable development or professional ethics. See, this not you don't
lifelong learning, environmental sustainability, like these program outcomes should, how can we in any course that should not become so according to the rubrics or according to the Bloom's taxonomy, how can we code?
So you usually know, sir, like what happens is every course outcome, depending upon your, if you look into the course outcome and program outcome mapping, okay. So see, some courses will may fulfill all the graduate attributes or the program outcomes. Some courses will not do it, like few courses. So actually in your curriculum, there will be a CO-PO mapping. And if it has not been able to satisfy that, you have value added courses or audit courses to do that. In some cases, it will be all your courses put together will be able to cater to all the graduate attributes given. So if you have to particularly go to the curriculum of your your university or your institute, look into the curriculum, whether all the graduate attribute at the end of the program, that is after finishing 4 years or 3 years of their program, whether they are able to attain all those things. Through which course they are able to do it. See, some courses will be talking about the professional ethics more. In some courses it will be less. Some courses will be talking about the sustainable development or inclusive education and all those things. Like, see, lifelong learning is a skill. No, everything you cannot. See, you have to use it through a seminar, or you have to give some work where they have to learn by themselves. Okay, they should know how to learn also. Everything cannot be spoon fed. So some of the tasks you have to do it. So through that you can use that. You can you can cultivate that skill in our teaching learning process. So that is one. So you have to take as a curriculum as a whole, or if you want to take it in your course, the course, or if you have to see the PO-CO mapping, what your course has been contributing to your POs. Okay, that whether I am doing it very well. So that you have to take it up. Okay, this.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, there is one more question. What about the sustainable development if we follow new methods? Why man? See, all these methods, you know, with the sustainable development, why the method means the teaching methods, you say? Yes, these methods will sustain, and it has been a very successful story, all these new methods. So if you look into these methods, they are going to sustain now, and they are going to include all type of equity is there, accessibility is there, and quality should be also ensured. okay, and it is going to sustain, right? So it is not, so if you are using LMS, you are going to cater to their individual needs, then all type of learners, and definitely, right? So all these methods, I do not know whether I'm answering your question. So, so yes, so whatever you adopt, see to that it is accessible by everyone, whether you have this equity, that is the thing, and the quality should be ensured. Ma'am, please brief on what questionnaire connecting to teaching method. So nowadays, yeah, that is what, Jamna, like, see, previously, predominantly, some people will be like visual learners, auditory learners. Even if you take up a question, it will say, okay, you are 60% visual learner, 32%, or some 15% auditory, or something like that. So here, now in present scenario, you need not worry too much of that VAR questionnaire, okay? So we'll put it as multimodal learners. And you, as a teacher, we have to cater to all type of learners. So how can you do that? So apart from your teaching, you have to share the content in variety of ways. You have to share a video, you have to share a podcast, you have to share you have to give them a learning material, a text material, or a graphics, or an image, or an immersive technology. So this is possible nowadays because information is ubiquitous, and you have a lot of open learning, that is OER, that is open educational resources. You need not create, already it has been created. You have to curate, and you have to customize, and you have to give it to your students as it is. So a lot of things. See, there are so much of video content available in NPTEL, in Swayam MOOCs. All these are open, which you can use it in your teaching learning process. That OER is their open education resources. So you can give different types of material. You can support, you can supplement your teaching along with these resources. And you can distribute it on the LMS. You can upload it on the LMS. So it will cater to all type of learners. Okay, even the slow learners, they can take their own time to learn when you distribute these learning material on the LMS. Projects on rural immersion in social science subject can link to lifelong learning. So lifelong learning is that's a very essential thing, right? So rural immersion, okay, in social science subject. It can be in any subject, I can say. You have to see, we being a teacher, if you don't learn, see, learning is a continuous process. As long as I live, I do learn. So I didn't say like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has said, okay, it is very, very essential to learn, right? And to stay at least in that place. Otherwise, we'll become obsolete, no? So nobody can say, okay, I did my engineering in 1989. I learned only Pascal, COBOL, Fortran. So I cannot say, okay, I will not be taking C or C++ or Python programming. If I'm saying that, I'll be out of my job. So to sustain, to be in any workplace, see, even a shopkeeper, it is a lifelong learning. He was to do. Now he has to do. He has to get. He has to go for online shopping, right? Yes, madam. Please suggest any website for flipped. It is not for website. You have to provide this method. See, you give lectures, no, like this. You have to adopt this flipped learning. Flipped learning is pushing the learning to the students, okay, giving all the resources for them to learn. See, everybody can learn. Only the difference is the time, right? So what happens is, if provided the resources and time, everybody can learn. So you give them the resources, you give them the time. Okay, when they come to the class, okay, in the flipped learning, let them learn something and come to the class, you discuss on it. You let them ask question, or you ask them question. You give them some activity to work on it. Don't give them all your assignments, problem solving, tutorial. Let them do it in the class where you will act as a guide and support them. So in that way, the higher order thinking skill also you can inculcate. See, so much time we will be saying, we will be doing the same thing. We'll be explaining, we'll be telling that. So now if you want to really improve, and if you want to have the higher order thinking skills in the teaching learning process, you have to adopt to the flipped learning methodology. So using the LMS, that is one of the best way where you can share the resources, give them some time. So you have to, before discussion, you have to say that, okay, I have shared the material on the LMS, you go through it. Day after tomorrow, we will be discussing on it. I will be asking questions. So you give them sufficient time, give them sufficient resources, discuss that resources in your class. Don't teach them again. So in that way, you can give them that is, you can inculcate the thinking skill, problem solving skill, collaboration, communication. Let them ask question. You keep quiet. So let them ask. Okay, then so that in that way you will be able to do that. Blended is asynchronous and synchronous. Okay, in online, that is face to face, and online is blended. If you want to have what do you say? In online, it is synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous is now we are using Google Meet. Then for asynchronous, you should use LMS, Learning Management System. So that is blending of synchronous and asynchronous. And after normal, right, we will be blending with face-to-face and online. So that is what. So you have to create that environment. You have to administer that type of learning methodology. So you have a lot of resources. For the resources, you can refer MIT, OCW, OER, Commons. Okay, a lot of open education resources are available for sharing the details. Okay. Yes. Any other questions?
Okay. Now I would like to request Sadhana Sai ma'am, Dr. Sadhana Sai madam, to conclude the session. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank the coordinator and the team of Government Polytechnic Jalgaon for giving me this opportunity to chair the session. The post last session, usually ऐसा होता है नींद आती है, but madam helped us and kept us alive, and we are now with full, the adrenaline rush is there.
Right, ma'am, right.
Interesting और बहुत कुछ नया मिला सीखने को. Bloom's Taxonomy तो सुना ही था, पर उसके अलावा भी आपने जिस मतलब ये लेक्चर से ज्यादा it was showing your passion, the passion for the topic, your experience, and the way you delivered very theoretical concept. It was beautifully said. Coming up to the technical part, a very interactive and activity-based session. We had taken 3 activities. Session started with skills that need to be inculcated in teaching learning process curriculum. The PPTs were very colorful, very informative, self-explanatory. Ma'am talked about the 3 R's, 4 C's, that is critical, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Much emphasis was given on collaboration, and which in today's scenario, and I think the future that will be coming in education system, I think collaboration is going to really work a lot. Information literacy, media literacy, ICT literacy, life career skill that talked about flexibility, adaptability, initiative, self-direction, social and cross-cultural skills. Very much. In the pandemic also we can talk about, we are now in all online classes and all, and now all over India and people are joining, even the world also squeezed. So it is very important to know the social and cross-cultural skills for the upliftment of the profession. Productivity and accountability, leadership skills. Coming up to the OB-based education, ma'am talked about knowledge, skill, and attitude, the 3 domains of learning. Cognitive domain, ma'am had detailed about, then talked about the affective domain, psychomotor domain. मतलब अगर मैं इसको और elaborate करूंगी कि तो after the summary also मैडम ने पूरा presentation एक short में फिर से बताया था. आगे फिर मैं रिपीट करूंगी तो गोइंग टू बी मोनोटोनस, और मैम ने जिस way she has explained those things,
Very right. Very right.
they have percolated, and absorption phenomena has taken place. Madam, not absorption, it is absorbed in each and every cell. Pharmaceutical language में cell में absorb हो गया है. And the ma'am also emphasized on 3 M's, that's method, material and media. Curriculum alignment, and then a video was played. Whatever she talked, here is a perfect example how to be an outcome based education. Here ma'am was started with something. What was she was trying to say? She told it in the way of body language, on the text form, activity, and in the form of video. तो किसी ना किसी तरीके से पार्टिसिपेंट को वो बात समझ में आना चाहिए. So the same thing can be applied in our classroom also. Ma'am talked about what is impact, that is technological, pedagogical content knowledge framework, SMAR model, where ma'am had talked about enhancement and transformation. I think somebody had asked in the chat box the full form. Ma'am, SMAR ka full form, SMAR.
Substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition.
Okay, yes.
That is the first name I just showed also. I answered that query.
Okay.
I think Jyoti, somebody.
Yeah, somebody had asked. Okay, ma'am. Then learner characteristics. Fantastic. Where this generation and these generation we have to deal, and a lot of gap is there between these students, and so how to cope up with this. And मैंने talk about the VARK questionnaire. बहुत कुछ है आपके तारीफ में कहने के लिए, पर इतना ही बोलूंगी कि आपका नाम सुना था, आपका इंटरेक्शन सुना था मॉड्यूल के उसमें, आज आपके दर्शन हो गए हैं. थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू. यू आर अ सरस्वती ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट. सो आपको सख्त प्रणाम. थैंक यू.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your very kind, generous words.
Thank you.
So with this concluding words from Sadhana ma'am, I also agreed, Sadhana madam, whatever you have said, and related to ma'am. Now it's time to honor ma'am with the hands of Sadhana ma'am. I would like to issue one token of law in the form of certificate. But it is online mode, madam. It
Yes.
is honor for you to be over here. So I request, yeah. So this is
Thank
for
you,
you.
thank you, thank you.
Class, yeah. It is a wonderful movement, and thank you very much. It is a token of law from our side and organizing team. Now another appreciation I would like to do for the chairperson, today's chairperson, Sadhana ma'am. So now the next appreciation for the Sadhana madam comes over here, and let us see.
Beautifully summarized.
I'll pat myself.
Thank you, Sadhana ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now I would like to conclude it's time for vote of thanks. Ma'am, Dr. Malliga ma'am, I really I feel blessed that you have come over here and deliver the session on behalf of AICT and Atal, on behalf of our Department of Pharmacy, Government Polytechnic, Jalgaon. I would like to